official America was terrified of this march. Nobody believed that large numbers of black people could come into Washington without riots. They canceled liquor sales for the first time since Prohibition in Washington. They stockpiled plasma in the hospitals. They had paratroopers ringing the city. There were 15,000 paratroopers assuming there were going to be riots. They canceled Major League Baseball games a week in advance, which is unheard of. They didn't do that in the Kennedy assassination. They were so fearful.
Can you tell me what part you think is the strongest, or what you like best of the speech?
Well, the composition of the speech is very unusual for people who study it later, because the only parts that are remembered were not written in the speech. I think an instinct told him that the prepared speech was too stilted and wasn't going over. In fact, the last line that he did not give, he wouldn't speak it. He stopped on it, was, let us go back to our communities as members of the International Association for the Advancement of Creative Dissent. And he didn't give that line because it was stilted. And he said, and so, even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. I have a dream today. And then he started off on I have a dream. And the part that we remember is a series of rhetorical riffs in the tradition of a black church, or really a jazz musician. He had tried out those riffs before, and they went over in earlier audiences. He had said, I have a dream. He had said, let freedom ring. Those were familiar refrains. He just put them together in a slightly different way. So, no, that wasn't the first time he had said, I have a dream. In fact, he had said it just a week earlier in Chicago. He had said it 2 months earlier in Detroit. That's the thing. You have a repertoire of little riffs that work, and so he reached into his bag, and pulled them out. But they're always slightly different. That's why it's like jazz musician. It's improvised, and he put them together in a different order. Did I have a dream first, then with this faith, and then finally let freedom ring. This was a unique event. It was like an introduction in the delivery room at the hospital of something new, that we're going to, America at large, through television, its great eye, is going to pay attention to what this invisible culture of the black people have to say to us. And what they said was, I have a dream, let freedom ring. Race is such an amazing subject in American history, and it's led to some of our most glorious moments that will really be at home with it when we can talk about it the same way we do about sports. And our memory is still very, very nervous about race. And we don't want, most people don't want Obama to talk about race at all. He said that if he had a son, he would look like Trayvon Martin, which is a truism, that if he had a son, his son would be black. And there were criticism erupted that he's trying to inject race into this thing. He shouldn't talk about it. A lot of people want Barack Obama to be a black president on their terms, which means to make them feel comfortable. It goes back to that March on Washington thing, where people were convinced that the great thing about the March on Washington was that black people wouldn't make them comfortable. They'd behave just like white people. And to that degree, we've made a lot of progress, but our memories and our politics, our language, the way we discuss politics, doesn't reflect it.